oops, the bottom coming up a little bit, just because they're coming together, like the puffs on the cloud are coming together. There's a bottom part of the cloud right here, like that. There is a, oh, and this cloud needs to have a darker bottom. So we need to make this a dark brown. I know it's a weird color for clouds, but that's what I'm doing. So maybe come back in here and make this one darker. That. Maybe come in and on this weird hat-shaped one, make that darker. Like that. Let's see. I'm just trying to get the basic forms in. Yeah, so because you want to treat the clouds, according to my lesson, as geometric shapes. And this helps. Oops. There we go. Still working, good. Okay. And then maybe the shadow of this edge curves up a little bit. Just because this is a curvy puffball thing. I guess I started it before, kind of like that. I guess I don't know what I want. So the shadow has to curve up a little bit like this. And then maybe there's one here, a shadow here. And then maybe I'm adding too little small stuff to my clouds. Maybe I need to make bigger selections. More in line with what I've sketched out. I feel like some of this small stuff is going to come naturally later. I don't need to sit there and fiddle with it. Oh, my friend watched the YouTube archives of the old one. It's too bad in the old ones, my microphone is basically off. I don't know why, but the my computer just doesn't play nice with the streaming stuff. So the computer hardware for the I started getting distracted by clouds. The computer hardware for the microphone that's built in works fine normally, but when as soon as I turn on streaming stuff, it ends up shutting down. It ends up being really quiet and weird, making some of this cloud puffy on the bottom. It kind of looks like a lapras. It's not intended to be, but it's becoming one. Let's see. I feel like it needs another fluffy bit up here that's less opaque. Like that. Then maybe this edge of this cloud needs some shadow. No, that's not right. Like that more. So that it's bleeding in and wrapping around this, oops. It's wrapping around this way rather than wrapping around like that. There's an edge here, there's not an edge here. This should be smooth. Like I should actually come in and fix this gradient up a little bit. Except for, you know, kind of fudged up the bottom part here. Okay. This shouldn't be there. Yeah, so that should be that edge. And then maybe there is a another shadow shape over here. The shadow should be coming from the bottom of this selection. It's because it's like the plane is getting caught under this other poof. Let me sit back in my chair. I tend to hunch over like a vulture when I'm drawing. It sucks. It's bad for my neck. It's mainly a posture thing. But anyway, this plane is getting caught under this puff right here. So I need to, that's why there's a hard edge here, kind of a hard edge here, and this should be actually a softer edge a little bit, just a little bit. And this is a round piece of puff, so that should be a little bit shadowed. Like that. Maybe the edge over here is softer, just because it's in the background. This cloud is kind of fading into the atmosphere. Like that. But it's a really big cloud. Oh right, this was only supposed to be foreground clouds. I started doing all the clouds. Such is my way, I guess. So this cloud needs to be brighter on the top so that light's hitting it. Like this. This cloud probably should be lighter than it is. On the top, I mean. Like, it should be darker because it's more forward, but I want it to be clear that the light is coming from the top-ish. There we go. There we go. So nice. I don't have to have, well, I guess I do. There's a reason. I have one off my ear. It's to hear the recording to make sure that it is actually functioning. Alright, so the next thing will probably be this panel of the cloud will be a little bit darker. This panel might be a little bit darker. Panel. Maybe this would be a little bit darker right here where it's like the puff edge. This would be a little bit darker. There we go. Very good. This would actually probably be a better gradient, like if they smooth together, because it's wrapping around, the light's wrapping around right here. Maybe this would be fluffed out a little bit. This cloud's really dark, but I don't really want to mess with it because it's kind of on the edge of the page. And the closer something is to the edge, the more likely that, you know, if you put detail there or darkness there, it might, you might stare at this cloud instead of the like castle or the dragons, which I will add in shortly. I'm trying to get these clouds down because it's technically the assignment before I start doing dragon stuff. You know, and they're kind of fun to do when you treat them like this. Like weird, flat, fluffy pancake things. I think this edge of the cloud right here could also maybe blend into the background a little bit more. That just to make the edge quality a little bit different. Let's see. Okay, so there would be light coming in on this one, like right here. So just like the ones in the foreground, I would, oops, that's too bright. Have some light curving down on these planes. That like this. I'm not trying to add too much color just because I don't want to undo what I've already put down. So just like considered few strokes. They're really good. Like it's watercolor almost. Like so that all my past hard work isn't for nothing. Let's see. I think that this cloud could be a little bit lighter. No, that's not good. I changed my mind. Undo. Maybe the top of it will be lighter. The whole thing could stand maybe being a little bit lighter. That looks really weird, actually. I don't know about that. Okay, so these are pretty well structured clouds. They're geometric. I kind of like them. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want all these shadows. I probably should be sticking more to the gradient tool than I am, just because that forces me to think in the big picture rather than the small picture. I'm softening this edge on the top because it's farther away and I have soft edges on the sides. So I want these to feel a lot closer than this big one in the back. So yeah, I'm softening this one. Let's see. That one probably could be softer. See, that's nice. It's nice patterning. I don't know. That might be a little dark in the foreground as a shadow on this cloud. Maybe just go back in and it's too light. I almost feel like it should be more subtle than I'm making it. Clouds aren't, unless they're stormy and full of water, are not as dramatic. I wonder if that looks too subtle. I mean, it's fine. Let me add some here. There are the dragons. I think I'll add maybe a little bit of the dragon stuff in just so that I can, while I'm editing the clouds, I can tell where I need to make the puffs so that they look, you know, they add to the dragons or the dragons add to them rather than, you know, not considering both. I think I just want to draw the dragons. I'm going to do them in a fairly similar way where I add the tone and not a very dark tone so that you can see a lot of the background behind them. But I'm gonna get all of the dragons first before I do that because I want them to have a very similar transparency to begin with. only because that feels less arbitrary.